After almost 20 years with Great Big Sea, Alan Doyle has decided to go out on his own. Boy on Bridge is the name of your new album.
Bold new steps.
That's a big step. It is a big step. How do you walk away from something so tremendously successful and I would assume comfortable and fun after 20 years? How do you make that move?
Oh, it's great. It's more like a lifeline. You know, we've all been taking these little day trips away from the mothership. You know, you can be brave and sneak off the bus and do something cool. If you know you can always go back to it. It makes you a bit more brave than you were risking the whole thing. But we had a little break in the schedule when we finished the Safe Upon the Shore tour in the middle of 2011, and we wanted to do this big splash for our 20th anniversary in 2013. So we kind of, for the first time in almost 20 years, had a little bit of a sort of a space to do whatever we wanted, you know. So Sean did a second solo record and put it out in 2011, and Bob did a book, and
look what you've done with your spare time.
And look what I've done. Yeah, I had this little musical journey. It was great fun, man. We went around to I always had this sort of bucket list of people I wanted to work with in their own backyards. And, I had time to do it. So I nipped off for a few days here and a few days there, and Boy on Bridge is the souvenir of that.
So I was thinking this myself when I looked at the list of collaborations. It's a solo album, but are you really solo? I think you're somebody who obviously feeds off of collaboration.
Yeah. I mean, it's a very telling thing that, I get a chance to do a solo record, and it's probably the most collaborative thing I've ever done, and it was really just about going the whole learning experience and travel experience of learning, to make music the way other people do it, and to do it in their backyard, not in my backyard, because I've done it in my backyard lots of times.
And what were some of the big differences for you?
Well, it's stuff like, if you've never been to a Nashville recording session where they record 9 songs in 3 hours, you really don't know where the bar is for efficiency and how they do it. And that was an amazing experience for, what's acceptable and what's readiness and what's not, musically speaking and stuff. And, just like writing songs with Mike Post down in LA, because he's more of an orchestral guy and I'm not. It's just, you end up singing over chords that you'd never think to play, and that all just stuff like that. And plus just geographical differences and just fun. It was a real great learning experience, and I had such a ball.
Was there at any point were you sort of questioning, have I made the right move? Or were you frightened about the end product? Or were you just up in the moment of it all?
Very much in the moment of it all, going through it.
Yeah.
It was only when we sat at the sort of towards the end of it and went and I wasn't even sure I was doing a record. I didn't know what I was doing. I was just going around singing songs with my buddies. It was only when it came to the end of it, we were thinking about actually putting it out, that where I got spooked, but in a most positive way, because, only because I wanted people to like it, in that kind of fashion, and I was hoping people would, and the reception's been really great, so.
It has been great, and I think sometimes when you have a member of a successful band go out and do a solo thing, there's always a sort of conspiracy theory behind it, like, are they breaking up? Is there a big problem? And people hesitate to like the new material, but it seems that everybody loves the new album.
Yeah, it's been welcomed with open arms, which is, again, a telling thing about myself and Sean and Bob's kind of luck or good fortune to have the fans that we've always had, because they've always been willing to let us do stuff that was a little outside the circle, and people come watch me if I'm in a television show or in a movie or something, or they go read Bob's book, or they come listen to my solo record. It's just, I think people, have been very, willing to let us just chase our fancy.
Yeah.
And it's been great fortune. Good luck.
Now, you mentioned the acting thing. How is the acting thing for you? Is it tough? Is it tough to read from a script when you have such a freestyle lifestyle?
I'm a bit of an imposter, in the acting world, I confess, I've stood next to enough good actors to know that I'm not one of them. And, I think if I did it for a lifetime, I could probably get good at it, but it would take a lifetime, but, I'm just lucky enough to have real good friends who are, doing really fun stuff in the arts, whether it's a movie or a play or a TV show or a video game or whatever, and they ask me to be involved, and I'm always thrilled to do something that my buddies are doing, whatever it is, and they ask me to play a tough guy in a TV show. Well, I'll give it a go.
Now, it's common knowledge that you're friends with Russell Crowe, and a few years back I was in Newfoundland during the George Street Festival, and the big buzz was that you were performing, therefore he would be there. Everyone was speculating that he'd appear on stage. How did this relationship start?
Started in the most Canadian way at the NHL Hockey Awards, when we were both, that's where we met. We were both presenters at the NHL Hockey Awards. And he was in Toronto for a long time doing a movie called Cinderella Man back in 2002 or 3, I think. And then, but a few years before that, he was in Canada doing a movie called Mystery Alaska, a hockey movie. And Kevin Durant and a bunch of the guys who were on that movie were Great Big Sea fans, and they introduced Russell and a whole bunch of people to Great Big Sea music. And, you know, when we met up at these NHL Hockey Awards, we just started chatting about music, and he kind of said, you know, if you ever passed through Toronto, would you like to come by and write some songs? I have a band in Australia. And I was like, yes, I think that would be okay. I think I will give that a go. So we just struck it out. We wrote a whole bunch of tunes and good fun. And, you know, going on a decade now, we've written probably 30 songs for the band in Australia, for Great Big Sea, television shows, for other bands, and it's been just an awesome, you know, sort of musical friendship.
I've read interviews that he's done, and he comes off as a little bit of a super fan of yours and Great Big Sea.
Well, he's a big fan of music, right? And a big fan of, and he loves to support, you know, his friends. You know, that's just the kind of fella he is. And whether he's talking about, you know, Great Big Sea or my band, or whether he's talking about, you know, Scott Grimes' new movie or Kev's new movie or whatever, that's you know, I think he's aware of the fact that when he talks, people listen because he's so famous. And he, you know, like any good friend, he's always trying to give his buddies a leg up.
That's good. Now, you've been a little bit of everywhere now, or you've been a lot of everywhere now, and yet you still choose to live in Newfoundland. You could live anywhere. You could live in Nashville, where it would make it easier for you to put albums together.
It would be.
Why do you choose to keep that your home?
You know, it's funny. I'm not even sure I know the answer, other than it's never even occurred to me to live anywhere else. I'm serious. All the places I've been, like, and people ask me that all the time. And, you know, and I go like, well, it's like asking me, why don't I fly or something? You know, it's like, because I don't fly, and I don't live anywhere else. I live in Newfoundland, and I'm a Newfoundlander, you know, and it's like, I suppose the only way to answer it is that I love it.
Yeah.
Right? And I certainly don't, as you say, I could live probably anywhere I wanted within reason. But, you know, I love Newfoundland, and I like the people there, and I like everything about it, you know, and I love, you know, it's primarily about my friends are all there, and my family's there. But,
Speaking of your family, it's your son's birthday today.
It is. My son Henry is turning 6 today.
6 years old.
Yeah.
How is touring different now that you have a son?
I'm going to try to trick him. I'm going to tell him his birthday's tomorrow. Don't tell him. I'll come home.
If you see his son, keep the secret.
We're having cake when I get home tomorrow, so. Yeah.
How is touring different for you now? Like, I know this is the last night of your tour.
Since the kids are born, and all the Great Big Sea guys would say the same, and most musicians I know, look, we used to go out, you know, years ago, you go out for 2 months at a time, you would care less, you know. And, well, since the kids are all born, you just really you don't want to be gone for very long. And not necessarily because it's bad for them, but it's bad for us. You know, it's like they're gonna learn everything and do everything, and, you know, you come home and you've missed it all. Yeah. You know, so, you know, we try to keep the legs a lot shorter than we used to, and try to be home more, and try to, you know, you spend a lot. You used to get off the bus and go drinking and watching, you know, comedy shows on the bus, and now we all get off stage and start Skyping, make sure Johnny did his homework.